Okay, so today's lesson is about subtracting quantities. So you're going to see subtraction signs everywhere. You have to be very careful in this situation. And I have 3 steps for you to use to avoid getting bitten. Logan? Yes? What are you doing? Quickly. I'm recording, middle of the lesson. Okay. All right, to avoid getting bitten. Bitten by what, you ask, Mrs. Doble? Bitten by the subtraction shark, I say. The subtraction shark? Yes. Subtraction signs are like sharks, not shikes, sharks, and they will bite you in the behind if you are not careful. Oh, and I had music here, and it doesn't play.
What? Do you have volume on?
Yeah, it's all set. All right, who can make the Jaws music? Okay, there you go, very good. Good. All right. So subtraction will get you if you're not careful. I'll try to get the music playing later for you. You need to change all your subtractions to adding the opposite, equivalent addition. You need to draw an invisible coefficient, the ones, because a lot of times kids lose them and that they have to multiply through by them. And then just proceed with caution. So if you follow these steps, you'll be really good. If you're not understanding something, make sure you stop me. Let's take a look at example number 1. It's 2/3 times the quantity, 5a minus, in parentheses, 12 minus 4a. So there's a lot going on. You can see 2 subtractions in the problem right off the bat. Follow these steps and you'll be good. Once you have the problem written, change your subtractions to adding the opposite. If you want to use your colored pen, you can, that you corrected so it stands out to you. Change the subtraction to adding the opposite in each case. All right, so we just did step 1. Step 2 is to draw the invisible coefficient. What number is the invisible coefficient that we talk about? What number is Mr. Invisible? Mary? 1. When you look through there, if a letter, a variable, or a quantity doesn't have a number in front of it, draw in a 1. So, okay, well that's a 5a, and then plus this quantity doesn't have any number in front of it. There's not a 2 there, there's not a 3 there, there's nothing there. So draw in a 1. That means we have one of those quantities. And then everything else is fine. We have a constant and variable term. When you're subtracting a whole quantity, it's like you're multiplying it by -1. All right? So we're going to just go to the innermost parentheses like we left off with our lesson yesterday. And in here, I can't do anything. These are not like terms. But I can do this multiplication. I can multiply a -1 through this quantity. So that's what I need to do first. I'm going to bring down my 2/3 times the quantity of 5a, and I'm going to multiply my -1 through here.
Why is there a -1?
Okay, well, Logan, like a lot of times, right, we have a number out front.
Yeah.
When there's no number there, it's like there's a 1 there. And when it's being subtracted, it's like there's a -1 there. Okay? All right, so multiply for me. What's -1 times 12? Baishu? Good. And what's a -1 times a -4a? Positive 4a. Good. All we did was multiply that -1 through. Basically, when that quantity is being subtracted, the sign of everything in it changes. All right? Now, we got more to do clearly. What should I make sure I do next before proceeding, Jack? Yes. And caution in this situation would tell me I should do what? What should I do, Robbie?
Simplify by adding 5a and 4a.
Yeah, in here we can simplify this expression, so simplify it. What is 5a plus 4a, Robbie?
Okay.
Good. So this becomes 2/3 times 9a plus -12. Oops, there's a square bracket. Okay. Now some kids get confused because there's a fraction out here, but it's just a number. You just have to multiply it through distribute. And you got to figure out what 2/3 of 9a is. Well, think about what's 1/3 of 9a, and then 2/3 would be what? Caitlin?
6A.
6a, very good. And what's 2/3 of -12? Will?
Negative.
-8, very good.
So how do you do that? How do you do that?
2/3 of 9?
Oh,
What's 1/3 of 9, Robbie?
1/3 minus
3, so 2/3 would be
6.
6.
Okay, not
That's
bad.
where that came from. All right, this last expression, Daryl?
Oh, well, it's still 6a minus 8.
Yeah?
But, when we did 5a plus -12, it would, because we changed it to equivalent addition, it would still stay positive, it wouldn't go. It wouldn't be like 5a minus -12 and then plus 12. Never mind.
No, I think you're kind of mixing it up in your head with solving. Okay, so 6a minus 8 is it. Got it?
Yes.
All right. Now let's look at example 2. It's a little bit more complicated. So look up there carefully. There are 3 different kinds of grouping symbols that can appear in problems, and they all appear in this problem. Go ahead and copy it down. So -2 times brace, 3a minus 4 times square bracket, a minus parentheses, 2 plus a. Close them all.
Why is that a line the, well, the broadest bracket over the line?
Where?
Oh, so this,
Here?
yeah,
Where's not?
no, like, in the bracket.
There's this parenthesis, which is closing this grouping, and there's this square bracket, which is closing this square bracket.
Oh,
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's what was,
And then there's the curvy bracket that's closing that big grouping. All right, there's a lot there, right? This is where you have to be careful. It's all about attention to detail. Okay, so Mrs. Doble told me to avoid getting bitten. I need to change all the subtractions to adding the opposite. Okay, there's a bunch of subtractions here. We have 3 minus 4, so we're going to make this plus a -4a. Minus, so we're going to make this plus the opposite of that quantity. All right, did that, check that box. Number 2 is draw in the invisible coefficient. Well, this has a coefficient I can see. Here's a coefficient I can see. What's the coefficient on this a? Robbie? 1. So let's write that in. There's no number in front of these parentheses, Caitlin. 1. That's really important in front of those parentheses, because that's going to remind you to distribute a -1 through this whole quantity. Oh, and this a, that doesn't have a number in front of it. Michael? 1. Okay. All right. Now, it's a mess. It's okay. Go inside, 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 innermost grouping symbols first, which means I go here. I can't add 2 plus 1a because they are not like terms, right? But I can distribute the -1 throughout. So let's do that. But don't be careless, copy everything else down that's in front of it, just like an order of operations problem. It's kind of like an algebraic order of operations problem. When I distribute this through, I'm going to get rid of those parentheses. What's -1 times 2, Novacek?
-2.
Good. And what's -1 times 1a, Caitlin?
-1.
Good. Close my square brackets, close my curvy brackets. What should I do before we go any further here? Daryl?
Figure out what's the answer from the brackets.
Yeah, can we simplify this in here at all? And what do you think, Daryl?
Yes, we can do 1a plus -1a, which is 0.
0. So all that's left in these square brackets is what, Daryl?
-2.
Yeah. So we got -2 times 3a plus -4 times square brackets -2. Any questions so far? What do you think we need to do next? What do you think? Caitlin?
-4 plus -2.
Add them or multiply them?
Mom.
Multiply them. Yeah. We can simplify this right here. -4 times -2. What is that, Caitlin?
-8.
Negative times a negative?
No, positive.
Positive 8. Good. Okay, we're close to the end, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
Liam, are you with me? What do you think we should do now?
Change. Wait, no. Wait. Change the addition to. Wait, never mind.
No subtraction, we don't have to worry about that. No invisible coefficients. There's a number outside the grouping symbols. What do we got to do?
Distribute that.
Very good. When I distribute it, what do I get? What's negative 2 times 3a, Liam?
Negative 6 there.
Good. What's negative 2 times 8? Logan?
Negative 2.
Good. And what's the last thing I should do with that expression? Anna?
Change. Plus negative 2 plus.
Good. Negative 6a minus 16. A lot there. All right?
Yes.
Okay, so here's the next kind of problem. And this is really just about understanding the vocabulary and what this problem's asking. So everybody fix your attention on this. Example 3 says, find the sum of 2a plus 3b minus 4c, comma, 3a minus 2b, comma, negative 4a plus 5c, and a minus 2b plus c. What? Kids are like, huh? Step back and think about it. What is this problem asking you to do? Don't overcomplicate it. What is it asking you to do? Jack? Simplify how?
By adding all the
Yeah, by adding all of the like terms in these expressions. It's find the sum. So all you would do when you get to a problem like this is add up the like terms. It just means add this expression to this expression to this expression. Holy moly, to this expression. And you can do that, change your subtractions to addition, combine your like terms, and bam, you're done. It's just the vocabulary in the commas with all of those letters written next to each other that kind of make kids dizzy. Just step back. What does sum mean? What does sum mean, Michael?
Sum means
Addition, add them all up. We're not done. Okay, good. All right, example 4 is important and you need to write this one down. We're gonna like, what do you call that in English class? Diagram. We're gonna kind of mathematically diagram this sentence. Subtract 3a plus 4b minus 2c from 2a plus 5b minus c. As you write that down, think about what might trick kids in this problem. Check, what you think?
It's subtracting it from that, so it'd be flipping it around.
Yeah, that's the whole key to these problems. Very good, Mike. Circle the word from. All right, when you see subtract from, circle the word from and realize, like Michael just said, you got to flip-flop it because this quantity here is being taken away from this quantity. So when you write it mathematically, which quantity has to go out front? Mary? Right. Put both of them in parentheses. And like Mary said, write this one first. So it's 2a plus 5b minus d minus this quantity. We're taking it from it. And put that quantity in parentheses.
We skipped the second.
We just talked about it. You just combine your like terms, add your A's, add your B's, add your C's, and you're done. It was just about what did that mean.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay. So, this subtraction sign in here is very important. Okay. We have our problem written. Let's do the things that I told you to do. Change your subtractions to additions. This is plus a negative 1b. Do I have to change this one here? Yes, this middle one is very important. It's plus the opposite of that whole quantity. And then I have one more subtraction here. All right.
Are we supposed to put the subtraction on top? Or?
Well, this is a negative sign.
Yeah, no. Do we have to put it like above, or can we put it below?
You should put negative signs above the addition signs and operation signs, not below it, yeah. Luke?
Why wouldn't you put plus negative 1 of that?
That's what we're gonna do right now. That's step 2, put in your invisible
Oh,
coefficients, right? All right, so here is, a 1 should be here, a 1 should be here, right, which you were talking about, Luke? Yep. And then we're ready to go. Out front here, this is technically like a 1 too, right? But it's a positive 1. So this whole quantity just stays the same. We've got our 2a plus 5b plus negative 1b plus, we got to distribute our negative 1 throughout. Erna, what's negative 1 times 3a?
Negative 3.
Good. And Will, what's negative 1 times 4b?
Negative 4b.
Good. And what's negative 1 times negative 2c, Robbie? 2c. Basically, when you're subtracting, all of those get flip-flopped. What should we do now, Daryl?
Change it to subtract. Oh wait. Combine all.
Yeah, there's like terms in there to combine. Good. 2a and negative 3a is what, Caitlin?
Negative 1a.
Good. You want to cross those out once you've used them, that's fine. What else can we combine? What else? Jack?
4, 3, and 5. And 5.
5b and negative 4b, which is equal to what, Jack?
Just B.
Just b, good. Now, do I have any other c terms here, Caitlin? No.
Just add it.
Yep, just add it in. And no other d terms, so just bring it on down. Last thing now here would be to tweak it. Is there any tweaking I need to do? What is it, Mary? Okay, and what about those ones? What should we do with the ones? Yeah, just make them invisible. So it becomes the opposite of a plus b plus 2c minus b. Woo! All right. All we did was make our ones invisible.
Wait, why is the negative 4?
Because the negative 1 times positive 4b. Did you lose that one?
Yes.